came another and said, the fire of God has fallen from heaven and hath burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another, and the Chaldeans made out three bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. And while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house, and behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the four corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Then arose Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshiped. I want to stop right there. I want to talk about the this and that's of life, a probing question. We have watched news and recently in Madison, Wisconsin, we saw the execution style slaying of a young man. And Attorney Ben Crump is on the case. But what has caught my attention much more than that is the death of Nolan Wells, young man who went to Horn Island with three other friends, and the friends returned home safely, and he days later washed up on the beach shore. His lifeless body is face down in the water. And one thing was for him not to return. A second thing was for his friends to have his cell phone. But the incident or his missing goes unreported. The phone is traced back to the friend's house. And it takes them 15 minutes to turn over the phone, and they have a lot of question of why so long. But later they found out snapshots and all of his messages were deleted. A lot of questions. A lot of question raised. I watched the funeral, and I heard Al Sharpton speak and preach as he did in the case of many others, including Floyd. And I just so many questions. And I kind of watched the mother and the father of Nolan Wells speak about how they lean in on their faith, and they are leaning on each other for the support that they need. And it makes me believe that they are decent people and that they are doing something right. But then just this week, the second pathologist comes with his autopsy report and his findings and says that the manner and nature of death is inconclusive, because his throat was not placed back with his body. His lungs were not placed back with his body. And he can't tell because the lungs are not there whether he drowned or whether he was in the water or out of the water when he died. He cannot tell because the throat was not placed back with the body whether he was strangled or whether he had some kind of neck injury. But he did see some discoloration that was red in the back of the brain that might be a sign of some kind of blunt force trauma. But really, he can't tell about all of that. And so, while the second pathologist in Washington, D.C., has made his report, the first pathologist who received the remains have not even made a report. And there are so many unanswered questions. There's just an unwarranted and unwanted chapter in these people's lives. And the real truth of the matter is, could have been anybody. Could be you. It could be me, your child, my child. It could be your sibling. It could be my sibling. It could be anybody who's African American in these United States of America. And I come to say on today, I just believe that this family, and I feel their pain, have come to a place where I call the this and that's of life. Old folk call it something different. They call it, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Can I tell you that the this and that's of life is a bitter lemon, sour and bitter. Sour to the taste, bitter to the taste, something that we don't want to taste, something that we don't want to digest. Nobody wants to be served a lemon. This family is not the first family to receive a bitter lemon. Job is dealing with one on today. While he was doing everything right, while he was making the right sacrifices, doing the right thing, keeping his family before God, making sacrifices on behalf of his children, not knowing whether they had sinned against him in their hearts. He did the right thing, minding his own business. He was so right that God labeled him as a perfect and upright man. But I want to say, in other words, things and situations will come in your life even when you're doing everything right. I want to go on record to say to somebody on this morning, some stuff is happening in your life, not because you're doing anything wrong, but some of your trials are coming now because you are doing some things right, and God is bragging on you. He's not testing you, but God is trusting you. You know, for a long time, I preached the Job story saying it's a test. But the Holy Spirit came to me one day and said, God is not testing him. God is trusting him. God is saying, you know what? He ain't going to mess it up. When the enemy is saying, I can make him curse you to your face. I can take everything from him. I can make him have so many losses till he forget all of his gains. I can make Job curse you if you take your hands off him. But God turned him over to the enemy in all things. Instead of cursing God, Job blessed God. Watch this now. When it comes to the this and that of life, when he lose all of his possessions, when he lose all of his children, when he lose the confidence of his spouse, when he lose the vote of his friends, come on, y'all talk to me. When he has lost everything until he strips himself down and becomes as they see him. Oh, you catch that, you're almost done. He tried when he shaves his head and he take off all of his clothes, and when he sat down in sackcloth and ashes, he attempts to become how they saw him. We have some questions for you, is what his friends say. I'm abridging. What have you done wrong? They said 7 days, never said a mumbling word. And the first question that comes out of one of their mouths, what have you done wrong? You done something. Job said, I've done nothing. My witness is in heaven. My record is on high. I've done nothing. His wife comes to him and say, you don't have that it no more. Look at you, man. I can't go to the nail salon. Oh, y'all, come on. I can't go buy my hair. There is no need for you. Why don't you just curse God? Check on out so I can move on. So I can get with somebody else who can do better by me than what you are doing. Why don't you curse God and die? And Job says to her, you sound foolish. You don't sound, look at that simile, like my wife. The real truth of the matter is that he understood that she wasn't anymore. But he wanted to place it to her mildly. He uses this simile. You don't sound like the woman I married. You don't sound like the woman I've been living with all of these years. You don't sound like the woman who is the mother of all my children. You don't sound like the woman who is the apple of my eye. You don't sound like my significant others. You have given me this death sentence. Curse God, the omnipotent one, The one who hung the sun in the vaulted dome, the one who put the moon on the slippery stairway of glory, the one who hung the stars in the galaxy, the one who scooped a piece of clay and made a man and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, the one who gave the clouds its clothing, the one who shot up the bosom of the deep and made it go into its chambers. You telling me to curse him? Oh, God. One who knows all about me, telling me to give up on God because I don't have things no more. I'm on somebody's street right now. To give up on God because the house is going to go in foreclosure. To give up on God because the car is going to be repossessed. To give up on God because my credit shot. Give up on God because of my losses. I tell you, I came here naked. Oh, God. Naked shall I return. The Lord giveth. The Lord take it away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Well, I'll tell you, when you come to the this and that's of life, the this and that's of life is a bitter lemon. The this and that's of life can be financial restraints. The this and that's of life can be marital problems. The this and that's of life can be unemployment. The this and that's of life can be a bad diagnosis. The this and that's of life can be a poor prognosis. The this and that of life can be a bad mental state, bad mental health. The this and that of life can be low self-esteem, disbelief in your own self. The this and that of life can be a dark dungeon. It can be a tunnel where you can't see yourself out of a cave. This and that of life. When you're looking for a hand up and everybody has an eye down. Y'all will get that later. Job goes into the ashes and attempts to see himself as folks saw him. Something blessed me years ago as I was reading the narrative about Serena Williams and her sister, Serena. And they said that one thing that their daddy advised them not to do is to hang with people who did not see them as they saw themselves. In other words, to put the scissor to them, to let them go. Because when things come in life that serves as a discoloration of who you are, and folk can't see through that. And folk can't see you and who you are in your trials. You don't need those people in your trials. Everybody who give up on you so easily because you have some downs. When things changes a little bit and you go through a struggling phase in your life and them folk don't see you as who you are, it's time for some scissors. Because when God put you there, he's putting you in that place so you can really see who they are. That you can look through a different lens to see who he is. The thing that I love about chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, unwanted and unwarranted chapters, was that it really was needed for Job to get to chapter 23. Chapter 23 is where Job started to ask questions. Oh, where can I find God? That I can call him into counsel. I can ask him some questions. I want to talk to God so I can tell God, I thought we were better than this. I want to talk to God so I can tell God that he needs to know how I feel in my season of disappointment. I'm almost through. I want to talk with God to tell God we better than this. All these days I have done X, Y, and Z to prove that I love you. I worship you even when I lost everything, even my children. Oh man, I thought, oh, where can I find God? So that he got to tell me something. Can I tell you, I hate to say it, I hate to report that sometimes this bad lemon, this sour taste, this bitter experience, if it sends us in a space where we come to a place of seeking God, if it makes us come to the place, the earnest question of Job, oh, where can I find God? It's serving his purpose. Because some people are not going to look for him as long as they got the bling blings. Long as the credit right, long as the bank account sitting padded just right. Long as they don't know what it means to have some downs, long as they're not having any struggles. But I hate to say it, sometimes it takes losing everything. It ought not to take losing everything, but sometimes for some people, it takes them having more losses than gains to bring them to the place, oh, where can I find God? I'm talking now about a seeker's mentality. I'm talking about a mindset that says, I want to see him. I don't want to talk about him. I want to talk to him. Oh, y'all going to get that later. See, it's one thing to talk about God. Oh, child, lift up your head to the hills. From what coming your help? Oh, God, let me tell you who he is. He's Jehovah Rapha. Oh, yeah. Oh, let me tell you what he done for me. He picked me up. It's one thing to talk about God, but it's something totally different to talk with him, to talk to him. Oh, where can I find him? I want to talk with him. Because by the time most of us get to a place where we genuinely, authentically, religiously, constantly, consistently, when we getting up in the morning, before we go to our phone and go to our Facebook page, we down on our faces saying, God, before I do anything, before I have the Cheerios, or before I have the bacon and egg, I need to talk with you. Do you know how many folk on social media, before they can get up and tell God, thank you for waking me this morning, our Father who art in heaven. Let me tell you something. Before we can finish our prayer, before we can say our prayer, somebody want to see how many folk have chimed in. Checking anthem rhythm. How many folk? Where can I find him? So I can talk to him. Oh, that I knew where I might find him, that I might come to his seat. Oh my God. I would order my case, my cause before him. I fill my mouth with arguments. I would know the words which thou would answer me, because I'm going to talk with you. Can I tell you something? By the time you finish longing to talk to God, for however length of time that you want to talk with him, God has been wanting to talk to you all the time. He just has to get you to the place like he had to get Moses from the backside of the desert to the burning bush. Just so Moses could hear his voice, he had to get Moses' attention from what was distracting him. When Moses gets to the bush and he gets close enough, then God tells him, take your shoes off. The place where you standing. Oh God. with your big feet, with your aching toes. Come on. You don't know what Moses had gone through. He had been a fugitive from justice for a while. And now he gets to a place where God says, I understand the condition of your feet. Take your shoes off. Oh my God. Where you standing? Can I tell you, God is attentive to the condition of your feet. He know where you've been. But he know where you got to go. Take them off. Kick them shoes off and rest them now, because I'm finna send you somewhere else where I don't need your calluses bothered you. I don't need your corn taken. Come on, y'all talk to me. Let's get on down with it. Take your shoes off your feet. Do you know how long God been wanting to talk to you and to me? Because when Job gets to chapter 23, let me tell you something. He started talking about how he's going to call God into counsel and ask and question him. When he gets to chapter number 38, God got some questions for him. God come to him out the whirlwind. In other words, I'm trying to tell you, don't stay stuck in chapter number 1, 2, or 3. Unwanted and unwarranted chapters. Let whatever season you are in, when you're coming through excessive trials and tribulations, get you to your chapter 23, where you're longing to talk to God. And when chapter 38 gets to where you can be where God is talking to you, you where you need to be. Chapter 38, God asks Job, out of the whirlwind. You done darkened my counsel by the words without knowledge. Get up yourself like a man. And stand up and answer me. Watch this. Watch this. Get up, Job. Stand up like a man. Stop letting everybody talk to you any kind of way. Your friends told you did something wrong, and the only thing you is give them a passive answer. My witnesses in heaven, my record on high. Your wife tell you to curse God and die. The only response you got for her is you sound foolish. You don't sound like my wife. Tell her to get somewhere and sit down. Tell your friend to get out. Oh, y'all talk to me. Stand up like a man. I didn't put you in the ashes. You put yourself there, but stand yourself up. Oh, it's going to help somebody later. You're in this season, but you don't have to wear it as they expect you to. You don't have to sit in no ashes and want pity from them, sympathy, like they got something to offer you. They got nothing in their hands for you. You've been trusting me all this time. Keep trusting the hand that gave you the first time. Keep trusting the hand that lifted you the first time. Because the hand that lifted you the first time, the hand that blessed you the first time can bless you over. What I have done one time, Job, I can do it again. Lemons. Lemons are bitter. But we serve a God who turned bitter to better. We serve a God who turns sour to sweet. Come on, y'all talk to me. You got to understand something about lemons. All folk know what to do with a lemon. Regardless of how bad a lemon is, a lemon still belongs to the fruit family. Oh, God. But can I tell you, there are some fruit that are aciduous. There are some fruit that are too sugary. There's some fruit that can cause some health problems if you eat too much of it. But let me tell you what the lemon can do, regardless of how bitter the lemon is. The lemon is good with vitamin C. Good for kidney stone prevention. Good for improved iron absorption. Lemons are good. Lemons support the immune system. Lemons are good for heart support. Lemons have some stuff in it that can help keep you Every lemon don't have to stay bitter. If God put his hand in it, he'll turn it to lemonade. Can I tell you, God can turn bitter to better? It was bitter when a married couple was having their reception and they had to endure the embarrassment of the wine running out, which was an indication of poverty or shortage. But I come back to tell you, when Jesus was on the scene, he told the servants to fill the water pots to the brim. He turned that bitter to better. He turned water to wine. Didn't he do it? I say, didn't he do it? Can I tell you that when blind Bartimaeus could not see, he was born blind? That was bitter. But when Jesus heard him crying out, and Jesus took a little spittle and made some eye salve and put it on his eye, and now he become the optimist. And when he tells him to go wash, and when he washed away all scale. And when he finished washing away, he was able to declare, I was blind, but now I see. God has a way of turning bitter to better. He can do it. Can I tell you about me? You know, I went to school to Atlanta, Georgia, to school, and when I got there, I had a housing problem that I seldom talk about, and for a few days, I was virtually living out the car. Going to class in the daytime, sleeping in the car at night because the housing situation that was set up didn't go through. But I kept getting up in the morning, going into McDonald's, brushing my teeth. Oh, y'all need to help me today. Give me a little breakfast. Taking me some soap and a little rag and wetting and washing. Throwing me a little smell good. Oh, God. Walking to class, Joseph Howard here. I pull up at a good hotel and let them know that I was just passing through and wasn't all right. They didn't know that I'm out there sleeping, trying to stay in class, trying to read by the little dash light. One day in class, another young man had an apartment situation looking for a roommate. I said, yeah, man, I'm looking too. We start to talk. He said, well, I'll get back with you. But now by this time, he hadn't gotten back with me. Now God elevates me to Pastor's Hotel. I'm able to go in and get a room for a few nights because the first nights I tried to go, they didn't have any vacancies and everywhere else was too high. That money had to stretch. Oh, Lord, y'all, I'm almost done here. But then a few days later, Walker came back and said, how are you still looking? I said, yeah. He said, come on, man, let me show you where I am. Right down the corner of Blenders and Buford Highway. Walked in, I said, man, this is good for me. How you want to chop it up? This was my part, this your part, this your room, that's my room. I said, let's do it. Now God takes bitter and make it better. Oh, God. Oh, God. If you don't know what it feels like, if you don't have a chuckle of a clue of what it feels like to not have a roof over your head, not to know where you're going to sleep at, not to sleep in a place that you know it ain't safe. No, you don't want to be one of those persons who's sleeping down on the bench near the bus terminal. You don't want to be one of those persons sleeping over in the Brooks Plaza on the sidewalk. You don't understand how bitter it is. But can you tell somebody that I know a God who takes bitter and make it better? At his own expense. And that's what I want to tell somebody today, that if you just wait long enough, your lemons, they are going to benefit you. If nothing else, the first set of problems you go through will help you be able to accept the next one. Because you will get to a place finally where you'll say like Job, I know my Redeemer lives. I don't have to guess about it. I know I'm going through another valley, but the same God who's the lily in the first valley is the lily in the valley that I'm finna go through now. He's the bright in the morning star. I know my Redeemer lives. I'm not guessing anymore. Oh, I'm not just having faith. I'm not just believing. I come to tell you, I'm knowing. I know what God can do. Because I serve a God who saw bitter. Born outdoors was bitter. Oh God. Dying on the cross on a Friday was bitter. But Sunday morning, everything got better. Not just for him, but for you and me. When he said, all power is in my hand. Power to turn things around. Power to make your life brand new. And power to wash you through and through. I know something about this amazing power because he worked it in my life before. And I'm glad today that I know about this power. There's power, power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. So much power that he can do anything. I know I'm right about it. So much power that he can do anything. Power to make the deaf hear. Power to make